Hello there, this is Ron, and this is the second in a series of teaching technical competency videos that I'm making. The first video was called Essential Components. This second video is called Best Practice Strategies. I've got a list of strategies that I'd like to go over and have a little bit of conversation about. The first of the best practice strategies is one that I call organization. And from this perspective, what we're looking to do is give the students structure for all of the activities that are taking place throughout the course. There's a document that I use that I put on the wiki, and I call that a class planner. Here is an example of a class planner that I'm using this semester. And in this class planner, what I do is let's see if I can get that to go away. There we go. I have the date. And so in a IRE competency, we're looking to have approximately 40 to 45 hours of student time. And that's an important thing. It's a best practice, but an important best practice is to manage our expectations so that the students can complete their work in 40 to 45 hours of student time. Part of that student time is somewhere between 11, 12, 13, whatever it is, hours in class. And so I structure by saying what date everything is. And then I have videos. So another best practice strategy is to have videos that students watch before class. And in my class planner, I list what those videos are. I actually have them watch a syllabus video before the first day of class. So all of the videos are to be watched before class. So on March 19th, before the students arrive, they watch the syllabus video. Whereas over here on the other side of the class activity is all of the homework that is to be done. And I do reflection as an essential part of a student's learning. So I have 8 reflections that the students do throughout the course. All 8 reflections are on the wiki before the first day of the class. Feel free to go and look at my reflections. I have a different set of reflections for every class that I teach. One of the things that I do in my competencies, though, is reflection 1. They set some goals for learning, and reflection 8 is after they finish the oral exam, they write a summary of those goals and look out to the future. So another best practice is goal setting. I have changed the name of what we call Describe because it does not do a good job of describing everything that is in a Describe. I'm now calling it a principle worksheet or a principle development worksheet. And so throughout the course, I'm expecting the students to do a full principle development worksheet, a full, quote, Describe worksheet on every one of the fundamental principles. So here's another best practice strategy. Identify the fundamental principles, talk about them often, have the students do a full blown out principle development worksheet on them. And so the fundamental principles in this class are the first law of thermal conservation of mass, psychoanalysis, property relationships, and the second law of thermal, all those in bold with now the blue arrows. Another thing that I have students do is when it's not a principle where a lot of things are being added and multiplied and equal to each other, a lot of times there are the things that are in those equations, like enthalpy and power and thermal efficiency and mechanical efficiency. So I have the students define those. Define is like the describe sheet, except it stops after the equation in units. So words, you can look, I have define sheets on the wiki on my competencies. So that's another kind of homework. I also have numeric problems that I ask the students to do. And if you look on the wiki, you can see I've got in this class 10 problems I'm asking the students to do. I've started something new this block called a connection worksheet, where, and there's a sample connection worksheet on the wiki under thermodynamics, where the students look for the similarities and dissimilarities between any two principles. So I have yet to fill these in, but ultimately I'm going to have the students make a concept map, and they will use these connection worksheets to connect all of the concepts, all of the fundamental principles and concepts for the class. So that's a new thing that I'll be having students do. And then one more is the students doing a deep learning activity. I try and scaffold that a little bit by saying when during the course I'm going to assign it, when I want them to be spending time designing it, when they should conduct their DLA, and when the different parts of the IMRD, I is the intro, this is the report, M is the methods, R is the results, and D is the discussion. So I try and scaffold that at the time. All right, so that's, I call this the class planner. I put it on the wiki. I have all the students printed out. I bring it to class with me every day to make sure that we are on track. And then we just look at the different activities. I have just pretty much started calling what happens in class a learning conversation, unless there's something important happening, like I'm giving something called a foundational exam on day 2, got the oral exam on the last day. But that's the organization. Videos to be watched before class, having students do some reflecting and goal setting, making sure there are fundamental principles and talking about them a lot, and having students describe and define the fundamental principles. I'm going to move over to a second page.